Alexander Armstrong, and this is Pointless, the quiz show where the lowest scorers are the biggest winners. To stay in the game, our contestants need to score as few points as possible, and they do that by coming up with those obscure answers that no one else can remember. We've asked all the questions on Pointless to 100 people before the show. All our contestants have to do is find those unknown answers that none of our 100 people gave. So, for example, we gave 100 people 100 seconds to name as many of Roald Dahl's children's novels as they could, and we found out that 63 of them said the BFG, an obvious answer that would score you a horribly high 63 points. However, only 21 of them said The Twits, a lesser-known novel that would score you a respectably low 21 points. Now, occasionally, there are even some answers that none of our 100 people could name. So, for example, none of them said The Minpins. So that would have been a truly pointless novel, and you would score absolutely nothing. That's exactly what you want. If you find any of those, then we will add £250 to today's jackpot. So let's meet today's players. Craig and Zaf, welcome back. We give everyone 2 chances to reach the Pointless final, and today is your final chance. Can you remind us where you're from and how you know each other?
Yeah, me and Zaf are from Tyne and Wear. I'm from Sunderland, he's from Newcastle, and we started work together about 3 or 4 months ago.
Very good, very good. You had a tough time yesterday, didn't you?
Yeah, we struggled a little bit.
Well, let's hope you get kinder categories. They were tough, weren't they?
Yeah.
On to our next pair, Martin and Sheila. It's also your second and final chance on the show. Welcome back. Remind us who you are.
I'm Sheila, and this is my son Martin, and we come from Bridlington in East Yorkshire.
Very good. Did you get a big send-off from Bridlington when you came down for the show?
Well, a little send-off.
A little send-off. Well, you'll get a big welcome back, I'm sure, if you play it right this afternoon. Catherine and Ben, you are our third pair today. Welcome to the show. How do you two know each other?
Ben's my nephew. We're from the Rhondda Valley in Wales, and Ben's just graduated, and I'm a virtual assistant.
You're a virtual assistant?
I am, yeah.
That means
Oh.
you're one day you'll become a real assistant, or...
No, virtual assistants do the same things as secretaries or PAs, but we do it remotely.
Splendid. And you've just graduated?
Yes, I have.
Excellent. Do you know what your result was?
I had 2-1 after.
2-1. What about that? Upper second. Back of the net. What subject?
Actuarial studies with accounting.
Very good indeed. Well done. OK, well, I hope you do well this afternoon. On to our fourth pair, Andy and George. Welcome to the show. How do you two know each other?
We go back a long way. We used to work together 10, 15 years ago in a large cash and carry.
Very good. And you bonded over general knowledge?
No.
No. But you just kept up with each other?
We did. I trust him with my back, and that's it's quite handy when you come from Sheffield.
Quite handy when you come from Sheffield. Well, best of luck this afternoon. And finally, Steve and Tracy, welcome to the show. How do you two know each other?
We are husband and wife. We have known each other for 6 years. We actually met in a blind date, and we've been married for 4 years.
Splendid. Where are you from?
Lisburn in County Antrim, Northern Ireland.
Well, welcome to the show and best of luck. Of course, there is one final person I need to introduce you all to, and he is the keeper of the Pointless Facts and Figures. He's my pointless friend. It's Richard. How are you, Richard?
I'm very well, Alexander. As you say, I've got all the facts and figures here for all the questions you're going to hear today. At the end of each question, I'll go through any pointless answers there were. These are the answers that none of our 100 people could remember. I'll also take you through the most obvious ones, the ones you should avoid, the most popular answers we're going to have. Now, on the whole show yesterday, we didn't have a single pointless answer, which I think is a first. So I think we're due a couple today. I'm looking at you, Craig and Zaf.
Yeah, no pressure, guys. Yesterday's finalists, Katie and Emily, failed to win the jackpot of £1,000, so it rolls over to today. And today's jackpot total stands at £2,000. But remember, if you find some pointless answers along the way, each one of those will add £250 to that amount. Right, let's play Pointless. In the first round, each of you must give me one answer, and you cannot confer with your partner. You will score 1 point for every one of the 100 people that gave that same answer. And remember, this is pointless. You're trying to find the least well-known answers and score the fewest points. If anyone gives me an incorrect answer, they will, I'm afraid, score the maximum 100 points, so do be careful. If you do give an incorrect answer, this will happen. You really don't want to see that. At the end of the round, your combined score will be totalled up and the highest scoring pair will be eliminated. Only 2 pairs will make it through to our head-to-head, obviously, so the pressure is really on. Our first category is British geography. Can you all decide in your pairs who's going to go first, who's going to go second? And whoever's going first, please step up to the podium. OK, let's find out what our first question is going to be. We gave 100 people 100 seconds to name as many UK cities as they could. Richard, elaborate on that, please.
Yeah, we're looking for any of the 66 cities of the United Kingdom. There's 2 ways you can become a city. The most common one is to be granted city status by the sovereign. That's the usual one. You can also, in a very small number of cases, be a city through ancient prescriptive usage, which is the first pointless fact you're getting today.
Wow.
Ancient prescriptive usage.
So the whole thing about cities having a university or a cathedral, that's nonsense, isn't it?
Absolute nonsense, yeah. It has to
was
be
told that.
granted city status by... I mean, most of them do, but you have to be granted city status by the sovereign.
By the sovereign. Right, Craig and Zaf. Before the show, you all drew lots, and it turns out that you will be starting us off. Craig, what's it going to be?
Well, I've been racking my brains,
Uh-huh.
and I'm thinking that I'm going to say Chester.
Chester. You want to pick something that as few of our 100 people said as possible. Let's see how many of our 100 said Chester. That's the correct answer. Oh, it's good. 18. An entirely respectable score. Out of our 100 people, 18 people said Chester. OK, our next pair, Martin and Sheila. Martin, what are you going to go for?
I'm going to go for what I hope is one of the smallest cities in the UK, that's Wells.
Wells. Excellent. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Wells. It's the right answer. Oh, it's good. It's good. Look at that. 5. That means 5 of our 100 people said Wells. You've scored 5. On to our next pair. Catherine and Ben, we are looking for UK cities.
Right, well, I'm thinking of a really small city in Wales. I think it's the smallest city in Wales. St David's.
St David's. Excellent. Let's see how many of our 100 people said St David's. It's good. Down it goes. It's good. It's very good. Oh! That means that 4 of our 100 people said St David's. Richard, St David's, that was a good one.
Yeah, absolutely. The smallest city in the United Kingdom. Great answer. Great answer.
Spectacular. So we've had Wells, we've had St David's. What else can we have? On to George and Andy. George.
Believe it or not, my first 2 have gone.
Oh, no.
So, plan C. I think I'll go for the Canaries, Norwich.
Very good. On the ball city. Let's see how many of our 100 people went with Norwich. It's good. It's good. 26. That means that 26 of our 100 people said Norwich. That takes your score to 26. You are our current high scorers. Of course, on any other game show, that would be fantastic. You're looking for high scores. But on Pointless, of course, we want low scores. Tracy and Steve. Tracy, we are looking for UK cities. What are you going to say?
Well, I am actually going to go from where we're both from and where I was born. Lisbon has just been granted city status about maybe 2 or 3 years ago, I think.
Oh, well, that could be fantastic. Lisbon. Let's see how Lisbon in County Antrim fares. It's good. Oh, it's very good. That means that 1 person out of our 100 people said Lisbon. Oh, I mean, well done getting such a low score, but bad luck not getting a Pointless there. I thought you were going all the way down. OK, we're halfway through the round, so let's see how we're doing. Steve and Tracy, you're doing fantastically well with that low score of 1. Keep that up, and you might be through to the next round. Things aren't looking quite so hot, I'm afraid, for Andy and George. Our current high score is on 26. You've just got to hope you can find a really low-scoring answer on the next pass, and that everyone else scores high. Well, we're going to come back up the line now, so can our second players please take their places at the podium. OK, Steve, your turn. See if you can do even better than that low score from Tracy.
I'm going to go with another city in Northern Ireland, Newry.
Very good. Newry. OK, this line here is your safety line. If you go above this, then you will be the pair with the highest score and therefore in danger. But if you get anything below that line, then you are definitely through to the next round. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Newry. It's the right answer. Wow, well, that means one person out of our 100 people said Newry. That brings you up to 2. That's your total. I'm torn between saying well done and saying bad luck for not getting a pointless there. It looked very close. Well done. Anyhow, on to our next pair, Andy and George.
Well, so many great answers.
We're looking for a
no real
city,
pressure
remember?
here.
A city in the UK.
I'm going to go for Chesterfield.
Chesterfield. OK, remember, you are the current high scorers. You've got to hope that this is a wonderfully low-scoring answer for you. Let's see. How many of our 100 people said Chesterfield? If it's incorrect, of course. Oh, dear. Unfortunately, that is an incorrect answer. That means you score the maximum possible of 100 points. That takes your total up to 126. Now, of course, all the other remaining pairs have scored so low that even if they scored the maximum of 100 points, they still wouldn't overtake you. So you will, I'm afraid, be eliminated at the end of this round. However, this is a great chance for you guys to find those elusive, pointless answers and add £250 to our jackpot. OK, Ben and Catherine. Ben, come on.
I think I'm going to stick with the Welsh link and go
Very
for
good.
Swansea.
You stick with that and go for Swansea. Let's see, how many of our 100 people said Swansea? Good. 23. That means 23 of our 100 people said Swansea, and that takes your score to 27. OK, Sheila, what are you going to say?
I'm going to play safe and I'm going to go for Winchester.
You're going to go for Winchester. Let's see how many of our 100 said Winchester. Not bad at all. Look at that. Oh, 7. That means 7 of our 100 people said Winchester. That takes your score up to 12. Now, Zaf, come on, you're safe. You're safe. Even if you completely get this wrong, you're safe and you're through to the next round. Why not take a punt? We are looking for UK cities.
I'm going to try Aberdeen.
Aberdeen, very good. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Aberdeen. That's a correct answer. Not bad. 17. That means 17 of our 100 people said Aberdeen, and that brings your total up to 35. So that's the end of round 1, and the losing pair with an appallingly high score are Andy and George. Bad luck, guys. So it was your first time on the show. What did you think when you saw that question come up? Do you think this was easy, or were you thinking, oh, no?
I was quite confident. Unfortunately, the 2 I'd got on my mind went first and second.
Oh, dear.
And that throws you a bit.
Yeah, I imagine it does happen. Did you feel a bit let down by Andy's answer there, George?
I'm never let down by Andy.
No, very good. Quite right. We will see you again tomorrow, so don't worry. You haven't blown your last chance on the show. Richard, what answers should they have gone for if they'd wanted to stay in?
These are the answers that none of our 100 people could remember. There were 5 pointless answers in all. Tracy and Steve, you gave us Newry and Lisburn. If you'd said Armagh, that would have been a pointless answer. Equally, we got 2 Welsh cities from Ben and Catherine. There were 2 other Welsh cities, Bangor and Newport, would have been pointless answers. And the only other 2, you got Ripon, which would have been pointless, and City of Westminster counts as a city. That was also a pointless answer. No one knew that. Top 3, guys, do you want to have a go at the top 3? What do you imagine the top 3 were, Andy and George?
Well, I would say definitely London, probably top.
Yeah, London number 1 with 97.
Manchester?
Manchester number 2 for a clean sweep.
Liverpool.
Oh, so close, that was 4.
Birmingham. Is it?
Birmingham is exactly
Yes.
right. Birmingham was number 3.
OK, well, thanks very much, Richard. OK, Andy and George, remember, everyone gets 2 chances to reach our pointless final. So we'll see you again next time for your final chance. Thanks so much for playing. You've been fantastic. But for the remaining 4 pairs, it's time for round 2. OK, guys, the round 2 category is television. Can you decide amongst yourselves who's going to go first and who's going to go second? OK, and whoever's going first, please step up to the podium. Now, remember, Pointless is all about scoring the fewest points possible. So you are looking for the answers that the fewest of our 100 people said. OK, let's find out what the question is. We gave 100 people 100 seconds to name as many guest presenters of Have I Got News For You as they could. Can you be any more specific there, Richard?
Yeah, we're looking for anyone who's guest presented at least one episode of Have I Got News For You since October 2002 when Angus Dayton left. These are the guest presenters, not the panellists. And I have to say, for the first time on this show, we're not going to accept Alexander Armstrong as an answer. You've done it 30 or 40 times?
I've done it a couple of 14 times, I think.
Yeah. I think you would have got 100 anyway. I think,
I think
it's unfair to have such a visual aid to one of the answers standing right in front of you.
Well, that's very kind.
There have been 63 guest presenters in that time.
Wow, 63. And I imagine there are a fair few pointless ones in there. OK, so Zaf and Craig, you're first. Zaf.
Okay. It's a long shot. I'm going to go with Patrick Keatley. I'm not sure whether he has presented it, but that's my guess.
OK. If it's wrong, of course, you will score the maximum of 100 points. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Patrick Keatley. Bad luck, unfortunately. That is a wrong answer, which means you score the maximum of 100 points. Richard, Patrick Keatley.
Yeah, he's been a guest on the show, and he's presented all sorts of other things, but he's never guest hosted Have I Got News For You.
Bad luck, Zaf. Let's move to our next pair, Sheila.
I'm going to go for a lady. I'm going to go for Fern Britton.
Fern Britton. Excellent. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Fern Britton. It's a correct answer. Excellent. That means 12 of our 100 people said Fern Britton, and you score 12 points. OK, Ben and Catherine, we're looking for guest presenters of Have I Got News For You. The more obscure, the better, remember. Ben, who are you going to go for?
I think I'm going to stick on the female route and go for Jo Brand.
You're going to go for Jo Brand. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Jo Brand. It's good. Very good. Very good. 3. That means 3 of our 100 people said Jo Brand, and that means you, Ben and Catherine, score 3. On to our final pair, Tracy and Steve. Tracy, what's it going to be?
Okay, I'm going to go for someone who wasn't actually very good at presenting it, if I may say that. Gordon Ramsay. I think he presented it once.
Gordon Ramsay. Hope he's not watching. Sure she doesn't mean it, Gordon. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Gordon Ramsay. That's a correct answer. Down it goes. Very good. 2! Look at that. Well done, Tracy. That means 2 of our 100 people said Gordon Ramsay, and it means you score 2. Well, we're halfway through the round. Let's see how we're doing. Well, Steve and Tracy doing fantastically well with a low score of 2 there. You keep up that low scoring, and you will definitely be through to the next round. Things aren't looking quite so good for Craig and Zaf there. They are on our maximum possible of 100. You've just got to try and score a pointless, I guess, on the next pass and hope that everyone else scores really high. OK, we're going to come back up the line. Will the second players please take their places at the podium? OK, Steve, we are looking for guest hosts of Have I Got News For You. The more obscure, the better. What's it going to be?
I believe this person did do it once. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm going to go for it. I think it was Brian Blessed.
You are currently our low scorers on 2. Craig and Zaf are our high scorers on 100. To be absolutely safe, you want to be scoring 97 or less. There's the red line. You want to be coming under that. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Brian Blessed. You're safe. Oh, that's good. That means 6 of our 100 people said Brian Blessed. You've scored 6. That takes your score up to 8. On to the next pack. Ben and Catherine, we're looking for guest presenters of Have I Got News for You.
Right, well, I think this person presented the show. I'm not absolutely sure, but I'm going to go for it. Lisa Tarbuck.
Lisa Tarbuck. Lovely Lisa Tarbuck. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Lisa Tarbuck. You're currently on 3. To be absolutely safe, you want to be scoring 96 or less. There's the red line. You want to come below. How many of our 100 people said Lisa Tarbuck? It's the correct answer. Well, you're safe. Oh, it's good. Look at that. Oh, it's pointless. Fantastic. Congratulations. Our first pointless on the show. That means that none of our 100 people said it, and it adds £250 to today's jackpot. Now standing at £2,250. On to our next pair. We are looking for guest presenters of Have I Got News for You? Martin and Sheila. Martin, what are you going to go for?
I'll go for the battle axe, Anne Widdecombe.
Very good, Anne Widdecombe. I was wondering if anyone's going to remember her. Your score is currently standing at 12. To be absolutely safe, you want to be scoring 87 to keep you under Craig and Zaf's maximum score of 100. There's the red line. You want to be coming under. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Anne Widdecombe. You're safe. Oh, it's very good. Oh, 15. That means that 15 of our 100 people said Anne Widdecombe. That brings your score up to 27. OK, well, Craig and Zaf, I'm afraid you are going to be eliminated at the end of this round, whatever happens. But let's see if you can go for a really low-scoring answer, maybe even get a pointless. See if you can save a bit of face. Craig, what are you going to go for?
It's not really a show that I watch too often, but I think I can remember Jimmy Carr doing it.
Jimmy Carr. You should watch it. It's a good show. It's a very good show. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Jimmy Carr. It's the right answer. It's very good. Very good. Look at that. 2. I was going to say it's too little too late. It's little enough, but too late, I think is what I mean. That takes your score up to 102. So I'm afraid at the end of round 2, the losing pair with the highest score, I'm afraid, is Craig and Zaf. Guys, bad luck. It was just a tough category again, wasn't it?
It was. It's a programme I never watch, I must admit, so I'll hold my hand up.
Now the pressure's off. Can you think of other people?
Anne Robinson.
Richard, what answer should they have gone for?
Yeah, well, Anne Robinson absolutely did present it. She would have got you 5 points. Would have been a very, very useful answer.
Oh, it's bad luck, isn't it?
Of the 63, there were 19 pointless answers. These are the answers that none of our 100 people could remember. I won't read all of them out because it's only a 45-minute show, but here's a few of them. Richard Madeley, pointless. Carol Vorderman, pointless. Moira Stewart, also a pointless answer in this context. Andrew Marr, Anna Ford and Lisa Tarbuck, which Catherine gave us. That's absolutely fantastic.
Very good.
The top answers. We'd had Anne Widdecombe already from Martin. She was second. Any guesses as a number 1?
Boris.
In your absence, it was Boris Johnson. Yeah, he was the most popular answer.
Where did I come?
You came...
Was I pointless?
You came 95th. You didn't at all. You came 8th.
I came
You were
8th?
8th most popular. You just beat Brucey.
Did I?
Yeah.
Beat Brucey?
Yeah.
Last time I'll ever do that. OK, well, thanks very much, Richard. Craig and Zaf, I'm afraid this was your second and final chance on the show. You just clearly don't have the pointless knowledge you need to get through to our final, so I'm afraid we have to say goodbye. But thanks so much for playing. For the remaining 3 pairs, though, it's time for round 3. Remember, only 2 pairs will make it through to the head-to-head, so this is your final chance. All of you need to find those low-scoring answers to stay in the game. The round 3 category is history. So who's going to go first, who's going to go second? Right, whoever's going first, please step up to the podium. OK, let's find out what the question is going to be. We gave 100 people 100 seconds to name as many children or grandchildren of Queen Elizabeth II as they could. Richard, fill us in on that.
Yeah, it does exactly what it says on the tin. We're looking for the Queen's children and her grandchildren, and there are 12. There are 12 names in this category.
Thank you, and remember, you need to score the fewest points. OK, Martin, you're first up.
I will go with Princess Eugenie.
Princess Eugenie. Excellent. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Princess Eugenie. Good. OK, well, that means 48 of our 100 people said Princess Eugenie, and that scores you 48. On to Catherine and Ben. Catherine, what are you going to say?
Right, I'm going to go for, I think she's the daughter of Edward and Sophie, Lady Louise.
Lady Louise. Oh, that's good. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Lady Louise. It's the right answer. Oh, it's good. Down it goes. Oh, look at that! 3. That means 3 of our 100 people said Lady Louise. That's a fantastic answer. On to Tracy and Steve. We are looking for children or grandchildren of Queen Elizabeth II. Tracy, what are you going to say?
Okay, really not my strongest subject, I have to say, but I'm going to go for Zara Phillips.
Very good. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Zara Phillips. It's good. 50. 50. That means 50 of our 100 people said Zara Phillips. That means you are our current high scorers. Well, we're halfway through the round. Let's see how we're doing on the scoreboard. Looking very good with a low score of 3 are Catherine and Ben. Things aren't looking quite so hot for Tracy and Steve. They're our front runners on 50. You've just got to try and score as little as you can on the next pass and hope everyone else scores high. Otherwise, you could be leaving the show. Right, we're coming back down the line. Can the second players please take their places at the podium? OK, Steve, we are looking for children or grandchildren of Queen Elizabeth II. You've got to see if you can find a pointless answer. Try and atone for Tracy's high score on Zara Phillips there. What are you going to say?
I'm going to go with one of the children, hope they'll be less popular. I'm going to say Anne.
Very good, Anne. Princess Royal. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Princess Anne. $85. That means 85 of our 100 people said that. That brings your total up to 135. You are scoring pretty high there. You've just got to hope that everyone else scores high after you. OK, on to Ben and Catherine. Well, I mean, you're sitting pretty there. You're at 3. Even if you score the maximum possible, you're still safe on 103. So let's see if you can find a good pointless answer.
I'm going to try Princess Margaret.
You're going to go for Princess Margaret?
Yeah.
OK. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Princess Margaret. Oh dear, that is a wrong answer, which scores you a maximum of 100 points. Happily, it doesn't matter because you're safe. The current high scorers are Steve and Tracy on 135, so you're definitely through to the next round. Sheila, we are looking for children or grandchildren of Queen Elizabeth II.
Well, I'm going to go for Peter Phillips.
Steve and Tracy are currently on 135. They're our high scorers. To come in under them and be absolutely safe, you want to be scoring 86 or less. There is the red line. You have to come below. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Peter Phillips. You're safe. Very good. That means 30 of our 100 people said Peter Phillips. That brings your total up to 78. Well, at the end of round 3, the losing pair with the highest score is Steve and Tracy. Bad luck, guys. You've been scoring fantastically low up until now. You're now thinking of lots of other names you could have said.
They're all quite popular,
all quite
really.
popular, yeah.
Edward, I guess he's probably one of the least popular royals, maybe. Maybe he wouldn't have scored as high.
It is only your first show, so we will have you back. Richard, what answers could they have gone for if they'd wanted to stay in?
Yeah, well, it was an interesting list, actually, because there were 12 names on it, and 10 of them were pretty high. I think everyone was searching for the Holy Grail, which is what on earth Edward
Wessex
and Sophie's daughters
children.
called. Catherine, who's proving to be the star of today, gave us Lady Louise, which is the daughter. The son, Prince Edward's son, is James Viscount Severn, which was a pointless answer. Everything else pretty high. The highest ones, Princess Anne, which Steve gave us, was 3rd. Second place was Prince Harry on 92, and Prince Charles was top with 97. Prince Harry beating Prince William quite a lot, which is, I guess it's because he's always in the papers.
Very good. Thank you very much, Richard. OK, Stephen Tracy, you have wasted one of your chances to get through to the Pointless final. We have to say goodbye to you for today, but we'll see you next time for your last chance. Thank you so much for playing. But for the remaining two pairs, things are about to get even hotter now as we enter the head-to-head. So well done, Catherine and Ben, Martin and Sheila. You've made it through to the head-to-head. Now, only one pair that can make it through to today's final and play for today's jackpot, which currently stands at £2,250. OK, here's how the head-to-head works. You're now allowed to confer. Each team will take turns to give me an answer, and you'll each have an equal number of turns. The first team that accumulates more than 100 points, or the team that goes over 100 by the most, will lose. So, as always, to stay in the game, you want to score as few points as possible by saying those answers that the fewest of our 100 people gave. Martin and Sheila, you performed best over the first 3 rounds, so not only do you get to decide whether or not you go first, you also get to choose the topic. And your choice is between classical music or motorsport. Classical music or motorsport?
No.
Motorsport, I know a lot about. We can confer,
Yeah.
I'll go for motorsport, Alexander.
It's going to be motorsport. Would you like to go first or second?
We'll go first, please.
Excellent. Motorsport, and you're going first. Let's play Pointless. Right, let's find out what the question is. We gave 100 people 100 seconds to name as many 2009 Formula One Grand Prix countries as they could. Richard.
We're looking for any country that has hosted or will host a Formula One Grand Prix in 2009. I don't need the name of the tracks or the cities, I just need the name of the countries. There are 16 answers here. I will say, just looking at all of my notes here, that up to now, across the whole series, Catherine has been the most successful player ever getting to head-to-head. She scored only 7...
Only 7 points?
She scored only 7 points on her answer, though, judging by the look on her face when motorsports was chosen,
No,
I think
yeah.
that run might be in danger.
Yes, I think you're
suspect.
right there.
Very good. Well, best of luck to all of you. Remember, you don't want to go over 100, so you have to score the lowest number of points each time. What are those Grand Prix host nations that no one else could think of? Right, Martin and Sheila, you're going first.
Go for Bahrain, Alexander,
We're
please.
going to go for Bahrain. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Bahrain. It's a correct answer. Oh, it's very good. Very good indeed. That means 14 of our 100 people said Bahrain. Catherine and Ben, your turn.
Not a big fan of motorsport. I think this country has hosted one in the 2009 season. It's going to say France.
You're going to go with France. Let's see, how many of our 100 people said France? Oh, no! I'm afraid that is an incorrect answer, and that means you score the maximum possible of 100 points. You haven't yet gone over 100, though. So, if Martin and Sheila score 86 or more on their next answer, then you're still in with a chance. Richard, France.
Yeah, used to for many, many years hold a Grand Prix at Magny-Cours, but no longer, I'm afraid.
Oh, that's bad luck. Martin and Sheila, your second answer, please.
Brazil, Alexander.
OK, you are currently on 14. To avoid going over 100, you want to be scoring 86 or less. There's the red line. You have to come below that red line. Let's see how many of our 100 said Brazil. You're safe. Very good. That means 39 of our 100 said Brazil. That takes your total up to 53. OK, Catherine and Ben, you want to score a pointless now, and then you're still in the game. With your second answer, we're looking for a pointless. It is, in fact, the only way you can stay in the game.
We're going to go for Monaco.
OK, Monaco. OK, let's see. How many of our 100 people said Monaco? It has to be a pointless answer for you to stay in the game. That's a correct answer. Ah, bad luck. You have each had 2 turns, and Catherine and Ben, you have now gone over 100. That 52 score there takes your total up to 152, and I'm afraid that means you are off the show. That was such bad luck. As Richard said, you are our record-breaking scorer so far. You just don't know your Grand Prix.
I don't know my Grand Prix, no.
Oh, dear. And what about classical music? Was that
No better.
Really?
Really not.
Luckily, you have one more chance to come through to our final when we see you in the next show. But Richard, what answers should they have gone for if they wanted to stay in?
Yeah, there were no pointless answers. There were a couple of low ones. The best answer you could have given was the United Arab Emirates, which would have got you 3 points. And Hungary, which is one of the traditional European Grand Prix, which are dying out now, that's still there, that would have got you 7 points. The top answers, if you've given us Australia, that's one of the most obvious answers. Most people said that. The second was Spain, which has got 2 Grand Prix. That was the Spanish and the European Grand Prix. And, of course, top was United Kingdom, Great Britain.
Very good. Well, thanks, Richard. OK, Catherine and Ben, you've wasted one of your chances to get to the pointless final, so we have to say goodbye for today, but we'll see you next time for your last chance. But thank you so much for playing. But for Martin and Sheila, it's time for our pointless final. Congratulations, Martin and Sheila. It's your second time on the show, and you've finally made it to the end of Pointless. You've fought off 4 pairs and won our Pointless trophy. Now you've got a chance to win our Pointless jackpot. Nobody won the jackpot on yesterday's show, so at the end of today's show, the jackpot stands at £2,250. Well, the rules are very simple. To win the money, all you have to do is find a pointless answer that none of our 100 people could think of. We've only had one pointless answer today. First, you've got to choose a category from these 3 options. You can go for European Football Championships, British girl bands, or prize-winning artists. Now, European Football Championships, we've had that on for 5 shows now, so that's its last time. If you don't pick it now, it goes off the shelf.
To be honest, my first choice would be European Football Championships.
Well, I don't know anything about girl bands. Or...
I don't know anything about prize-winning
I'd
artists.
be over the moon if you chose European Football
just
Championships.
to make you over the moon.
It's getting a bit...
Yes.
Just to keep you happy then, European Football Championships.
You are so sweet. OK, European Football Championships it is. Let's find out what the question is. So we gave 100 people 100 seconds to name as many Champions League Cup winners as they could. Richard, tell us about that.
Yeah, we're looking for any of the teams that have won the Champions League, that's from 1992 to present day, but also preceding that, the European Cup, or the European Champions Cup as it's sometimes called, which ran from 1955. So any of the club teams from 1955 to now who've won the European Cup or the European Champions League. OK, you now have up to 1 minute to come up with 3 answers. All you need to win that £2,250 is for just one of those answers to be pointless. Your 60 seconds start now.
Mourinho won it with Porto. They were very well known. I'm sure the Romanian side, Steaua Bucharest, have won it. Not many people know that. And Monaco did win it, but I think they were kicked out because they cheated, basically. So I'd say Steaua Bucharest. I would say Porto.
45 seconds.
And I would also say... Aston Villa.
Why?
Because they're an English team that won it, but not many people would maybe know that.
Oh,
We've got 30 seconds.
Well, you've got 30 seconds remaining. Plenty of time.
Well, I don't know.
Countries that would have won it. England, Manchester United, Liverpool, Nottingham Forest, people will know that. No Scottish team have won it, no surprise. Italy, Milan, everyone will know Milan.
15 seconds.
Italy, Portugal, Porto, Steaua Bucharest, Monaco. I'm going to go with those.
Go with them then.
OK, you've stopped the clock. What are the 3 answers you're going to go for?
We are going to go for Steaua Bucharest,
Steaua Bucharest,
Porto,
Porto,
and Monaco.
And Monaco. OK, so Steaua Bucharest, Porto, and Monaco. OK, let's see. How many of our 100 people said Steaua Bucharest? Remember, we are looking for Champions League winners. This for the jackpot of £2,250. This has to be a pointless answer. Down it goes. It's good. This for £2,250. Down it goes. Look at that. Oh, no. Oh, that's unfair. That means 2 of our 100 people said Steaua Bucharest. So unfortunately, that's not a pointless answer. You only have 2 more chances to win today's jackpot. Let's hope none of our 100 people said your next answer, which was Porto. Remember, we are looking for Champions League winners. Let's see how many of the 100 said FC Porto. It's your second chance for the jackpot of £2,250. It has to be pointless. Down it goes. It's good. It's good. Oh! I'm sorry. 10 of our 100 people said Porto. So I'm afraid it also is not a pointless answer. You only have 1 final chance to win today's jackpot. We've got to really hope that none of our 100 people said Monaco. Remember, we're looking for Champions League winners. Everything is now riding on this last answer. Monaco. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Monaco. For £2,250, this has to be a pointless answer. Oh, no! Unfortunately, that is a wrong answer. Unfortunately, you didn't manage to find that all-important pointless answer, so you don't win today's jackpot of £2,250, which rolls over to our next show. Have you had any more thoughts now?
It's all ones that I think everyone else would know, like Madrid and Milan and Manchester United, Aston Villa.
Obviously the British ones, yeah.
Nottingham Forest, but I thought Steaua Bucharest would have been pointless.
Yeah, I too. I thought that was going all the way down. Bad luck. Sheila, you put your faith in Martin there. Are you regretting that now?
No, not at all. I wouldn't have been able to do anywhere near as good as that on my own.
Well, he did pretty
so.
well, I have to say. I thought pretty specialist knowledge. So, Richard, Monaco, an incorrect answer.
Yeah, Monaco was. I mean, they did actually reach the final. They were beaten by Porto in 2004 in the final, lost 3-0. Where I thought you were going with the Monaco thing was Marseille, who won in the early 90s and were mired in the corruption scandals. So the 3 pointless answers, Red Star Belgrade you could have had, and PSV Eindhoven, all very, very difficult. And it's unfortunate not to see Steaua Bucharest on that list.
Well, bad luck, but you've played a fantastic game. It's been a great pleasure having you on the show. Thanks very much indeed. So nobody has won our jackpot today, so it rolls over to tomorrow's show. Join us then to see if anyone can win it on Pointless. Goodbye from Richard.
Goodbye.
And goodbye from me. Goodbye.